She said one of these 7 phrases 5 minutes ago. You thought she was just chatting. You missed the moment when she was non-verbally inviting you to intimacy. And while you were being polite, while you were giving her space, she decided you weren't interested. Or worse, that you couldn't read her. 7 coded phrases women use when they want sex but can't say it outright. Not flirting, not hints, not subtle suggestions, specific words that mean I'm ready right now in a language social anxiety allows them to utter. Because a woman can't say I want you without risking being seen as too available. So she uses everyday phrases that create a path to intimacy through completely mundane reasons. And when a man doesn't decipher these phrases, she thinks he's not interested or doesn't understand women's language. The opportunity closes, the moment dies. This is mind and emotion, the psychology of coded invitations that sound like casual conversation. The first phrase sounds like a complaint, but it's an invitation. Most men think when a woman says, I'm so tired, she's telling you to leave her alone, that she needs rest, that intimacy is off the table for the night. Wrong. When a woman says, I'm so tired while alone with you in the evening, she's not refusing intimacy. She's creating an excuse for physical contact that will lead to it. Think about what tired requires. Lying down, relaxing, being horizontal. And what does she need when she's tired? Comfort, touch, someone to help her unwind. What you think is happening, she's exhausted, I should give her space. What's actually happening, she's creating a scenario where you touch her without it seeming like she asked for it. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Women can't directly ask for physical intimacy without risking judgment, even in private, even with someone they want. The fear of appearing too eager, too available, too sexual runs deep. So instead, they create reasons. And I'm so tired is the most common one. When she says tired while lying on the couch next to you, she's not asking you to leave. She's inviting you to touch her, to rub her shoulders, to pull her closer, to let that contact build into something more. But most men hear tired and think the night is over. They back off, they give space, and she interprets that as he doesn't want me or he can't read the invitation. The second phrase is even more direct. My back hurts, my neck is so tense, my shoulders are killing me. This isn't a complaint about pain. This is a request for a massage. And a massage, when a woman wants you, is never just a massage. It's a prelude. It's permission to touch her body, to move your hands across her skin, to build the physical tension that leads exactly where she wants it to go. But the next 2 phrases are about how she creates a situation for intimacy through everyday words. When a woman says, I want to go to bed early tonight, most men think she's announcing her plans to sleep, that she's tired, that the evening is ending. But think about what she just said. Not I'm leaving, not I need to sleep. She said she wants to go to bed, and she said it while alone with you. This isn't about sleep. This is about creating a scenario for ending up in bed together that doesn't feel like a direct invitation. Because if she said, let's go to my bedroom, that would be too obvious, too forward, too much risk of rejection or judgment. What you think is happening, she wants to sleep, I should let her rest. What's actually happening, she's creating a reason to end up in bed together without having to say it directly. When a woman mentions going to bed early at 9 p.m., when nothing about the evening suggests she's actually exhausted, she's not talking about sleep. She's talking about horizontal proximity, about being in a space designed for intimacy, about creating the physical context where touch naturally escalates. And here's what makes this so painful for men who miss it. She's already decided. Her body already knows what it wants, but she needs you to understand the code without her having to break it and say the actual words. Because the moment she has to spell it out, something shifts, the mystery dies, the plausible deniability disappears. It stops feeling like mutual desire and starts feeling like a transaction she initiated. When she says, go to bed early at 9 p.m., it's not about sleep. It's about creating the setting. The 4th phrase is even more direct. Can you help me with this zipper? This clasp is stuck. I can't reach this button. What you think? She needs help with clothing. intimacy. What's real? She's asking you to undress her with the excuse of assistance. When a woman asks you to unzip her dress, unclip her necklace, unbutton something she could easily handle herself, she's not asking for help. She's giving you permission to touch her in ways that lead to more clothes coming off. She's creating a reason for your hands to be on her body in intimate places. But the fifth and sixth phrases are about how she tests your reaction to sexuality. When a woman says, "I'm so hot in here," and starts removing layers of clothing, most men think she's genuinely uncomfortable with the temperature, that she's just trying to cool down. But watch what happens next. She doesn't just take off a jacket and stop. She removes her sweater, revealing a thin shirt underneath. She pulls her hair up, exposing her neck. She fans herself, drawing attention to her skin. As she does all of this in front of you, watching to see how you react. What you think is happening? She's overheated. The room is warm. What's actually happening? She's undressing in front of you, intentionally, testing if you notice, if you respond. Because here's what you need to understand. Women don't casually undress in front of men they're not attracted to. If she wanted to cool down without sending a signal, she'd leave the room. She'd adjust the thermostat. She'd do it when you're not watching. But when she's attracted, when she wants you, she creates visual stimulation. She gives you something to look at. And "I'm hot" gives her the perfect excuse to reveal more skin without it seeming intentional. When she takes off her sweater, revealing a thin t-shirt that shows more of her shape while saying, "It's so hot in here," it's not about thermoregulation. It's about giving you permission to look, to notice, to respond with your own body language. And if you do nothing, if you just agree it's warm and look away, she reads that as disinterest, as you being oblivious or not attracted. The sixth phrase shifts from visual to verbal. "You look really good today. I like that shirt on you. You smell amazing." This sounds like a compliment, friendly, casual, but it's not. What you think? She's being nice, making conversation. What's real? She's making a sexual assessment disguised as a compliment. When a woman compliments your appearance unprompted, especially in a private setting, she's not just being polite. She's expressing attraction in the only way social rules allow her to. She's saying, "I'm noticing your body. I'm thinking about you physically," without having to say those actual words. Because if she said, "I find you sexually attractive right now," that would be too direct, too vulnerable, too much risk. But "You look good," that's safe, that's deniable. That's a compliment she can walk back if you don't reciprocate. But the seventh phrase is the most direct of all. When she says it, you have minutes, not hours. When a woman says, "Stay a little longer," late at night when you're alone together, most men think she wants more conversation, that she's enjoying the company and doesn't want the evening to end yet. But it's 11 p.m., maybe midnight. You've been talking for hours. There's nothing left that requires more conversation. So what is she actually asking for? She's not asking you to stay for another drink. She's not asking you to stay to finish a story. She's asking you to stay the night, for intimacy. But she can't say, "Stay and sleep with me," without completely exposing her desire. What you think is happening? She wants to keep talking. She's having a good time. What's actually happening? She's creating an opportunity for intimacy by extending the time you're together. When a woman says, "Stay a little longer," past the point when conversation naturally ends, she's hoping you understand what longer actually means. That a little longer turns into the whole night. That staying leads to not leaving at all. And here's what makes this the most critical phrase. It's often the last invitation she'll give. If you leave after she asks you to stay, she won't ask again. She'll assume you're not interested, that you didn't want what she was offering. When she says, "Stay a little longer" at 11 p.m., it's not an invitation to talk. It's an invitation to stay until morning. Now look at how these 7 phrases work together. She doesn't just say one. She says 3, 4, sometimes all 7 in a single evening. "I'm so tired," while lying on the couch next to you. Then, "My neck is so tense" when you don't touch her. Then, "I think I'll go to bed early" when you still don't move. Then, "Can you help me with this zipper" when you follow her. Then, "It's so hot" as she removes another layer. Then, "You look really good tonight" to confirm she's attracted. And finally, "Stay a little longer" when you start to leave. 7 different phrases. 7 different attempts to invite you to intimacy without ever saying the actual words. Because a woman can't say, "I want sex now," without risking appearing too available, too forward, too desperate. So she uses everyday language, complaints about fatigue, requests for help, comments about temperature, compliments, anything that creates a path to intimacy through completely mundane reasons. When she says 3 or more of these phrases in an evening, she's not just chatting. She's inviting you to intimacy with the only language fear allows her to use. You weren't ignoring her desire. You didn't know these phrases were code. These 7 phrases, complaining about fatigue, back pain, wanting to lie down, asking for help with clothes, feeling hot, complimenting, asking to stay, aren't random words. They're coded invitations that social anxiety allows her to utter when direct words are impossible. Because a woman can't say, "I want sex now," without risking appearing too available. So she uses phrases that create a path to intimacy through mundane reasons. Subscribe to Mind and Emotion. We're learning to decipher the female language of desire. Now you know the 7 phrases. The question is, will you hear the invitation when she says them again?